Hello everyone, I'm Professor DK and welcome back to another episode of the Simple Login app series. So in the previous episode, we saw how to implement classes and we were storing our credentials using classes. And what we saw was we were hard coding the username and the password, and I'm not a fan of particularly hard coding the credentials this way. And I would like to have a facility in the app where the user can come in and enter their username and password, right? So we want sort of a registration or a sign up facility in the app, and that's what we're going to see today. So to do that, let's go ahead and remove the hard coding here. So let's remove this line of code, and for now let this be there, but we'll be removing this later. So what you will do is you will create a new activity. So go to Java, under that click on the package name, click on new, and then go to activity, and we'll be creating an empty activity. So the process is still the same. You just name it as registration activity, and the rest of the thing will be defaults. You need not change anything here. Click on finish. Okay, so once your new activity is created, let's go to activity registration.xml, so the layout file, and in case you don't see it here, you know where you can find it. It will be under resources, under layout. So click on activity registration, and you should see this blueprint kind of window, and here we will want to create a similar layout, but except that this is going to be the registration activity. So first thing is the text, and based on what kind of input you need, if you want an email, then you will be doing that, and in case you want the username, which is what we'll be doing in this example, then you'll be dragging the edit text which says plain text. So I have dragged it into the layout, and again we're going to constrain it on all four sides, and I'm gonna drag it a little bit at the top here so that we have space for other widgets. So here for ID I'll be saying ET, which means edit text, and to differentiate between the username in the main activity, I'll be calling this as ET registered name. Click on enter, and then here we'll add enter name as the hint, and we'll remove the text from here because we do not want any text. We just want a hint which says enter name. And the next thing is the password. So I'm going to drag the password into the layout here. I'm going to align this to the previous widget, and then after that I'm going to constrain it on all the other three sides to the parent layout. Okay, so I'm going to do it, and then I'm going to align it right below the edit text for enter name. And again we follow the same process. We say ET for edit text, and we'll say registered password. All right, now for the hint, again let's say enter password. Click on enter. There's no text here, so nothing to do there. Now we'll drag the button here, and again we'll follow the same process. We'll constrain it to the previous widget, and then the other three sides will be constrained to the parent layout. All right, so once you have constrained it, you will need to place it again right below the edit text, and let's give the ID to the button as btn register. Click on enter, and then let's change the text here for the button to register. Okay, so as you can see here, we have just these three things, and it is going to accept the information, and then we are going to store this information into the credentials class rather than hard coding it. Okay, so we have our layout ready, and let's go to the Java file, registration activity.java, and here inside this, as always, the first thing you will do is create variables for each of the XML elements that we just defined. So the first was an edit text, so private edit text. And just to differentiate between the UI elements and normal variables, what I would like to do is prefix all the GUI variables with an E, which is an element. You can follow any naming scheme you want, but I like to do it this way. I'm going to say E reg name, registered name, and here as you can see, if you open this up here, you do not have an edit text package imported, so that's why you are seeing this error. What you can do is you can either place the cursor right after the statement or onto the next line, and then you can just press Alt Enter. And when you do that, it's gonna import that library here at the top, and you should see the error go away. So again, another edit text for the password. So I'm gonna call this as ereg password. Next we have the button, so private button, and let's just call this as eregister. Okay, and again, since the button package is not there, you just need to press Alt Enter. It's gonna come up here at the top. Okay, so now that we have defined all the GUI variables here, what you'll do is come here at the bottom inside onCreate, and then each of these variables need to be associated with their XML layout ID. So we do find view by ID to bind the Java variables with the XML variables, and the ID here is etreg_name. Make sure you give it the right ID or else it's going to fail. So ereg password is going to be find view by ID. I'm going to do this for all the variables. Okay, so now that we have created our variables, the next thing is to set an on-click listener on the button. So we'll say eregister.set. Make sure you type it the same way I'm doing it. So set on. When you just type this, you will see the first result which says set on click listener in the auto suggestions. So you're going to click on enter and it's going to auto generate the code. Again, inside the curly braces, you'll need to just type in on click listener. And when you just type on click, you're gonna see the first suggestion here. You're gonna click enter and you will see the code auto generated for you. So what do you do inside the on click listener? The first thing we'll do is we'll get the input from the user, and for that let's create a variable called registered username equal to eregname.getText to retrieve the text. And since it's a string variable, we need to do .string, and similarly another variable called registered password, and we are going to do the same thing here as well. I'm going to get the text and then convert it to a string. So we have both the username and the password, and the first thing you need to do always whenever you're accepting inputs is to check if the input is empty or not, right? And for that you can create another function called validate, which we have done already for main activity. So it's going to be a similar activity here as well. So private, and it's going to return a boolean because we want the validate function to say true or false. And I'm going to type in validate. It's going to accept two parameters, username and password. So here the first thing I'm going to do is use an if condition to check if the username is empty or not. So .is empty, and you're going to use an or operator because you want this to fail whenever either of the username or password is not in the format which we expect. So password dot length. So let's say we want the password to have a length of at least 8 characters. So if it's less than 8 characters, you want it to throw an error. So that's what I'm doing here. So if the password length is less than 8 characters, you're going to enter this loop, or in case the username is empty, then you're going to enter this loop. And here you will need to show an error message. So I'm going to use toast, and again you will say context is this, and the string here is please enter all the details, and we're going to also say password should be at least 8 characters. And the third parameter is the duration, so toast.length. You can either set it to short or long, and outside the make text you will need to use the show operator so that you can see the toast. Okay, after this you will need to return false because it failed, and the default will be to say it is true, right? Because it's gonna fail only when the username is empty or password is less than 8 characters, otherwise it's going to be true. So we're going to say true here, and we're going to use the validate function inside our on click listener. So if validate, and we're going to pass the registered username comma registered password as parameters. So if the validate function is true, then we're going to add the credentials into our credentials class. So for that, first thing you'll need is to create the object for the credentials class. So credentials equal to, so we have created the object credentials, which is not capitalized here. So credentials, and here you'll notice that we have defined a constructor, right? So if you try to create new here itself, then it's going to expect the parameters username and password, but we are not going to get the username and password until this point. So what you can do is, instead of setting it here, you're just going to create the object, but the new instance is only created inside the validate function. So you're going to say credentials equal to new, and then the default blank constructor, and here you're going to pass the parameters that it expects, so username and the password. So this is how you have created your new credentials. All right, so we have our new credentials, and then we want to direct the user from this particular activity into the main activity. So for that, you will again need to do an intent. So you could do intent this way, where you create an intent equal to new, and then inside the intent you will need to pass in the activity, the source of the activity, and then the destination. So the source is nothing but this particular activity, so registration activity dot this, and the destination is main activity dot class. Okay, and once you do this, you will need to use the start activity and pass the intent, and there you have it, you will be directed to the new activity. Now there is a simpler way to do this. So instead of using 2 lines, you can do this in a single line. So I'm going to show you how you can do that. So inside start activity, if you say new, and then if you say intent, you can then again in the same manner, you just pass in the source and destination, so main activity dot class, and here you have it. In a single line, you have just gone from one activity to another, and this is basically nesting stuff. So you have start activity, and inside that you have created a new intent, and then told which activity to go to. Okay, so you can also add a toast message saying that the registration was successful. It's just to improve the user experience. You can say registration successful, and here you will see an error, because since this is inside the onClick listener and then inside another function, this toast function is not able to detect what the context is. Context is nothing but the activity we are in, and for that you will need to specify it by just saying registration activity dot this, so that way it knows what context we are talking about. Okay, so the error now goes away. Okay, so now that our activity is done, we'll need to retrieve these credentials and use it in the validate function inside our login, right? So how do you do that? So for that, you will need to access the credentials object that we created in the registration activity. So here what happens is, if you do it this way, this particular object cannot be accessed from main activity. So let's delete this particular line, because we have created the credentials from the registration activity class now. So remove that, and then you will notice that it throws an error because it does not know the where the credentials object is, and this particular object needs to be same as the one we have used here, because if you create a new object here inside the main activity, then it's another instance of the class, and it's not the same instance that we have used in the registration activity to save the details. So to use a particular variable which is defined in another activity, what you need to do is set it to public static. Okay, so here when you set the variable to public, it means that this particular variable is visible across all activities, and when you set it to static, the variable retains its value across function calls. So we have done that, and we are going to go back to main activity, and now to access the credentials which was defined there, we need to say registration activity dot credentials. Okay, and as you can see here, now the error goes away. So we are accessing the credentials object which we had created in the registration activity, and same goes for this as well. So you say registration activity dot credentials and dot get password. So the get username and get password is the getter that we had created, so that remains the same, nothing changes. But one thing you'll notice here is that although we have added all the code for registration activity and added the credentials object from the registration activity into our validate, how do we allow the user to go into the registration activity? So that particular facility is still not available, and you need the first activity that opens is the login activity. So you need to create some sort of a mechanism where the user can go into the registration activity. So for that you can go into the resources, into layout, and then activity main, and here at the bottom you can create a text view. So you can just add a text view here, and again you'll follow the same mechanism. You'll bind it to the last widget here, which is the widget which describes the number of items remaining. So constrain it with that, and the other 3 sites with the parent layout. Okay, so you can place it right below that, and we're going to change the ID of this, and we're going to say TV register. Okay, since it's a text view. Okay, and here for the text I'm going to change it to new user. We're going to put a question mark, and then we're going to say sign up here. Okay, so as you can see, we have this option now, and when the user clicks on this particular text view, we should direct them to the registration activity. So let's first add the variables here into our main activity. So first thing is to create a variable for that text view. So text view, and since it's a GUI element, I'm going to say E, prefix it with an E, and we're going to call this as E register. Okay, so once this particular variable is created, we're going to say E register equal to find view by ID r.id. So it's a text view, so TV register, and we are going to set an on-click listener on this now. Okay, so you can either do it after this particular on-click listener or just add it after here, after the variable itself. So eregister.set on-click. So just type on-click, and you're going to see it auto-populated for you. Say again on-click, and it is auto-generated. Okay, here you just need to direct the user to the registration activity. So it's going to be very simple. So start activity, new intent. So we are going to use a shortcut method. So main activity dot this, and the destination is registration activity dot class. Okay, so very simple, nothing complicated here. So we have added a facility to go to the registration activity. Inside the registration activity, we have created a credentials object. We store the new credentials which are input by the user, and then we are going to use these credentials inside the validate function here. So we're going to use the same object that we created in the registration activity, and the way you do that is you take the activity, and I told you to access any variables inside a class, you just need to use the dot operator. I'm going to do that, and to operate any of the variables or functions inside the credentials class, again you will use the dot operator. You're going to use the getter here for getting the username and the password. So that's how it works. And in case the username and password is same, then we're going to say return true, and if not, we're going to say false. Okay, so it's a very simple app, but we have accommodated a lot of topics here. So now there is one major flaw in this design, where if the user does not even go into the registration activity, if they directly type in their details, and what happens here is inside the validate function, we are trying to access an object which is created only in the registration activity, and in case this object is not present, then basically it's going to throw an error because you're trying to access something which is not present. So here inside validate, what we're going to do is we are also going to check if the credentials is null or not. So registration activity dot credentials, if it is not equal to null, only then we are going to access this particular object. Okay, and we are going to place this if condition inside this particular if condition. Okay, so what we are doing here essentially is, if the user has not even registered his credentials, then basically this object is going to be null. Okay, so you can directly go ahead and return false. So we're going to only validate if the credentials are correct or not, only if the credentials object has been created. The way you do it is in this particular if condition. So we're going to use the registration activity credentials that we have created, and then if it is not equal to null, only then we're going to validate it. If not, we're going to say it is false. Okay, so I hope you understood what we are doing here and why this is important. Okay, anyways, if you want to check it out, you can just remove this particular line. You can just use this if condition and run the app. And what you need to do is you can directly enter any particular credentials, and you will see that the app crashes. Okay, that is because you are accessing an object which hasn't been created yet, and it only gets created when you go into the registration activity. Okay, and the way you check for that is using this particular line of code. Okay, so at this point the code is complete and there are no flaws in the design, and it is fully secure now. So I can go ahead and run the app and check if everything works. So I have the app running here. So if I enter a username like Dheeraj, and if I set the password as 12345678, you will notice that this is different than the admin username that we're using earlier. And if I click on login, it says incorrect credentials here at the bottom, as you can see. So I'm going to click on new user, and I'm going to create the new credentials. So once I click that, I'm directed to this activity. I'm going to type in Dheeraj. So this is my new username. I'm going to type in 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 and 8 as my new password. So I'm going to click on register, and it should show registration successful at the bottom. And I'm going to type in these new username and password that I just created, 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8. Click on login, and you should see login successful message. Okay, so at this point, yeah, everything is fine and good. But let me just go ahead and close this app. And if I open this app again, what you are going to see is if I go ahead and type in the user that I just created, it no longer works. So let me type in 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 and click on login, and you'll see that it says incorrect credentials. So why is this happening? Although we have created this new user previously, it says that the user does not exist. And this is because when you close the app, the information that you just created, all of that is destroyed. So it's not getting stored anywhere. So for each of the sessions that you use the app for, it's going to retain the information. But once the session is done, it no longer needs that information, and it's going to destroy it. So what you need is a mechanism to store the user details in an offline sort of a database, so that whenever the app opens again, you're able to retrieve those records that you had saved previously. And this is what we'll be doing in the next episode. So we will be talking about how you can use shared preferences in Android, which does just that. Okay, so if you like this video, make sure you give it a big thumbs up, and also do not forget to use the comment section below to let me know what could be improved or what you liked about this video. And definitely I'll try to incorporate all the feedback into the next video. And definitely do not forget to subscribe to my channel and hit the bell notification icon so that you can get notified whenever a new video comes out. So thank you guys for watching, and until the next video, happy learning.